The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza, with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm extremely pleased to be joined on this third Saturday in October by my main man, Coach Mike Woodward with the Laverne Wolverines. Coach, how are we this morning?
All right, Danny, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, Coach. Like I said, we got to keep everything in perspective. Especially for a guy. I'm talking to this a fantastic football coach. He's got a lovely wife, a great sports family. We got lots of things to be excited about.
Lots of things to be thankful for, yes, sir.
Yeah, we do. And, speaking about your lovely wife, I haven't had a chance to exchange pleasantries with her lately, but be sure and give her my best and tell her I do got a T-shirt for her, okay?
Oh, I'll tell her, and you know what she'll say in response.
Yes, sir. I certainly do. But that's why we love her. That's why we love her. She got lots of spirit. Let's talk a little bit about the football game that was last night. Didn't necessarily go your way, but you played an extremely tough opponent, because I believe them boys from Green Hill are pretty doggone good.
Man, they're real good. Undefeated for a reason, and offensively. They got a lot of weapons, which of course is, that's what gets the recognition. But their O-line very, very good up front, and then defensively, they give you a lot of different looks. And when we tried, during the weekend practice, to try to simulate leastwise looks, because they do some things that we hadn't seen scheme wise all year long, and they're just solid all the way around. And we had some injury issues late in the week in our O-line, which did not help, and then lost another one early in the game. So we had some of those things going against us too. But not saying that would have affected the outcome, because Green Hill is definitely one of the best teams we faced up to this point.
When you talk about injury, especially at this level, and I know you guys are a 6A school, but that doesn't mean you've got depth just because you're a 6A school. And is that one of the bigger challenges for you, is just establishing depth? And it's a challenge for a lot of coaches.
Without a doubt. That's I think every coach will tell you, that depth is, and injuries are their biggest concern. And whether you got 50 or 80, you're still worried about what happens if this guy goes down, or what happens if that guy goes down, because number one, no disrespect, but they're backups for a reason. And then also number two, they're not getting as many reps during the week, So, you invest time in the guys that you have as your starters, and, getting them all the reps they need to be prepared to go out and play well on Friday. And, that just means there aren't as many reps for the backup. And then, all of a sudden you get an injury or two, which of course is part of this game. And you've got a kid going in, and you're counting on him to make plays and know his assignments and his rules and all those things, when he's gotten, not even half the reps that the other guy has. So it does make it difficult.
When you talk about the challenges of establishing depth, internal team competition, something that Coach Phil Fulmer told me years ago, one of the things that made Tennessee good, really good during his heyday, was in the internal competition within the team, where you've got guys competing with each other for the right spot, but they're all for each other, but still you have that internal competition. Talk a little bit about how you establish, some of that internal competition, how much that makes you better.
Well, yeah, you're right. You want to get as good a look as you can during the week, so that Friday is not a shock with the people that you're going up against. So, we've always, when it comes to creating depth and those things, we've always tried to focus on the line of scrimmage, and make it a point of emphasis that our 5 offensive line starters aren't starting on defense. We try to avoid that, number one, from a conditioning aspect, because those are normally your bigger guys, but number two, to also be able to say that during the team periods for both sides of the ball, that we have best against best, our offensive line starters versus our defensive line starters, because that obviously is going to give you the best look you can see during the week. So we try very hard to do that to create a competitive balance, if you will, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and make Fridays less of a shock when you're going against the other team's best. And that's the approach we've taken, to try to simulate what we see on Friday, and also, trying to create some of that depth.
Coach, do you guys, because I think that high school football has changed a little bit and mentalities have changed and all that kind of stuff, do you guys hit as much as or is it as physical practice as you used to have, say, 15 years ago? Because I know you've been coaching a long time. Can you make things as physical at practice as you used to could?
Man, talking about how it's changed in the last, not even 15, but maybe even the last 10, like the summers are definitely not, because the days of the, 2 true 2-a-day practices where, you're practicing for, a total of 5.5 hours, and you're in full pads and you're banging and you're doing Oklahoma drills and live team periods and all that. I mean, that stuff's not even allowed anymore. So, from that standpoint, your practices clearly aren't as physical as they were, 10 or 12 years ago. And then, once you're in the season, again, you talk about, your depth and injuries and trying to stay healthy. I would say, again, just how the game has changed and how coaching philosophy has changed. I know for us, no, it's not as physical. We don't have nearly as many live periods as we did, 7, 8, 9 years ago. And, some of it, again, is just based on your numbers and based on your health. But by the time you get to this point in the year, I don't think anybody's practicing as physically as they did first half, just because you're naturally banged up by this point. And this is where the war of attrition comes in, just trying to make sure that you got your guys as healthy as possible, ready to go on Friday.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the future at Laverne. Freshman team. Tell me a little bit about the freshman team and what you're seeing there, and what kind of kids you got coming up, and the development and all that kind of stuff that's going on down there at Laverne.
Man, we got some freshmen we're excited about. We've got some linemen that we called up, if you will, once the freshman season was over, that are practicing with us right now. And again, that's where the game starts, is trying to find size and strength, up front, to give you a chance to compete at the 6A level. And, we feel like we've got some guys in that class that can help us out. And, so they're up there practicing with us right now, getting ready for next year. We were a young team anyway this year in terms of experience and year in school. We talked about that before. So, with the guys we'll have coming back, and then with some of these freshmen that will be coming up and being added to it, we're excited. We think we got some good things coming up there in the future.
When you see those kids and you give them the nod and you say, hey, freshman, you're dressing with the varsity this week, is there like a little bit more of excitement? I mean, you see that in their eyes. I mean, that probably is a good feeling, too, to see that kid and to see that glow, right?
Yes, just to see that it's important to them and that they're excited about it, So, and you just try, with us, the biggest thing is always just trying to talk about, commitment level and the importance of being here every day and being somebody that we can count on. And, we're blessed that we have, some very mature freshmen, from what we've had in the past that can handle that responsibility and that we can trust to come out every day and work. And, every extra rep they get is just getting them better for next year. So having them for, these last 3 weeks, to get those reps and get that practice, it's good for them and it's good for us.
So this coming week, rivalry game, go to the other side of I-24, Stewart's Creek. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep, going to Stewart's Creek. I mean, obviously they had a huge win last night. They're having a great year. Ben's doing a really, really good job there. So going to be another big challenge for us, but it is a rivalry game, obviously. So that should get our guys fired up to go out and compete. And, we'll prepare hard this week and see what happens on Friday.
Well, competition is what it's all about. That's Coach Mike Woodward with the Laverne Wolverines, doing a fantastic job down there on the north end of the county. Coach, we appreciate your time, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you, Danny.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. Find out more online at rayburn.net.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Is your car running like a